What's going on, everybody? It's the Godly Vibes Only podcast. I'm your boy, Deezy,
Christopher.
and we got here with us.
Your boy, Beat Docta, man, the myth, the legend himself.
Yeah, man, and I just want to say before we get started, man, thank you for being here. This is a platform where I just want anybody and everybody to come on to express themselves, to talk about how good God is, man, and just to lay everything out on the floor because, you know, we just in times where I've been saying it lately, we lost the compassion to love each other. We lost the compassion to understand. And I think we don't be understanding this because we don't know what a person is going through because not everybody wear what they're going through on their sleeve.
You know what it is, though, D? Like, a lot of us selfish. They don't want to admit it. A lot of us selfish, man, but you got to have compassion and you really got to have understanding and think from both sides because you want somebody to think about you. So think about other people.
But I think, too, man, it got to be a situation where we got to create that. Create that, you know, for somebody to be comfortable to do it. You know, don't judge.
I think people just kind of scared to, you know, like open up. I know, you know, with me, you know, from, you know what I'm saying, just different things that I've been through in my life, you know, most people would be like, you know, real standoffish. And the crazy part is like I dealt with it with like family who's supposed to be the closest people to you. You know? Like blood is thicker than water. So it's like most of the time, like, people who have gone through what I've gone through will be like real standoffish, don't want to like show the compassion or the love. So that's, you know, that's one of my biggest things. I try to, you know, lead with that first. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big believer in, you know what I'm saying, like how they say you got to give respect to give respect. I feel like you got to give love to receive it.
Yes, that's how it is.
So I definitely agree with that. And I see, man, every day I ask God, what can I do better? First and foremost, I ask God to forgive me for anything that I don't know I've done. And then I always ask him to make me a better man, just a better individual. And like you said, man, I think it's hard for people to open for things they've been through. You know, so hopefully, man, this can be a platform where people just want to come on. Because like I said, man, it baffles me, before we get into your story, but I'm going to just say that it baffles me how we show more love to celebrities than we do people we see every single day.
And the person don't even know you. That's the crazy part.
You know, that like blows my mind. It's like, y'all show more love to these celebrities, whether it's from somebody like you do music. So whether it's from you doing music or whatever, it's like y'all gonna post happy birthday to them and post their album and stuff like that.
But you got somebody right next to you,
that
like,
you don't even want to show love to.
I don't know, man.
I think it's the fear of like being the eyeball out. One thing I learned about like growing up, bro, after you graduate high school, man, whenever you get into it's still high school games, bro. Like, you know how you in high school, it's like, okay, like I don't want to show love to the nerdy dude or the, you know what I'm saying, or the geeky person because, that's gonna categorize me over here. So you kind of stay away from that. Then you get grown and then we supposed to be, oh man, be yourself, be grown, this, that, and the third. And you still out here like, he not famous enough yet, but she not famous enough yet, so I'm going to just kind of like support them secretly. And then
as soon as that day come and you make it, that was my boss at day one.
That's how it be.
That's how it be.
And that's how it be, man, because I think like I'm on this journey where if somebody has a message from God and they truly love God, man, if I can help, I'm going to help. Like, I'm on this journey like now where, like, I'm trying to learn how to do videos and stuff. Like, I edit all the podcast stuff, but, man, I might get out there and if, like, you do music, hey, I need a video, I need this, whatever, I'll be able to provide that, you know. So I'm working on, I'm just working on getting better, man, how we can just start pushing God to the forefront because, man, it's so many people that's out here seeking them and it's just on the fence for a lot of things, man. But we going to pivot there real quick, man, and we want to get to know. Yeah, we could be here all day. I want to. What we here for, man, is to get to know Beat Docta from the beginning, growing, your childhood, growing up, and how you became the man that you are today. So we're gonna just give you the floor and let you say your spiel.
Appreciate that, man. Come from humble beginnings, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the big metropolis of Kinder, Louisiana. Basically people just know us for Kashada, you know what I'm saying? We got a couple of, football state champs and stuff like that, but we ain't gonna get into all that. We just, we ain't got no Travis Etienne or nothing like that.
But y'all got less up.
You got less up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, just came from humble beginnings, man. Grew up in that small town, man, and just I was always surrounded around music. You know, my grandfather was a DJ, you know what I'm saying, for many years. And like all of his sons and daughters, they always was able to like kind of carry a little tune. They could sing a little bit. One of my uncles, he actually almost got signed to LaFace Records through Jermaine Dupri back in '96. He had an R&B and hip hop group called In Depth back in the '90s out of Lake Charles, so just been soaked up around music, man, just my whole life, man. You know, from whenever I started getting of age, and you know, we go over to my grandparents' house, and my grandfather, you know, he always wanted you to clean his records. You know what I'm saying? Every Saturday, so we had to clean it. Then you had to put it on and play it and make sure it played. Okay, if it didn't play, you ain't clean it. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm teeny tiny trying to
clean the records.
And, you know what I'm saying? You get, you know, if things start skipping, then you about to get a whooping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, just having a vast knowledge of music, you know, from stuff that was way beyond my years to current stuff, man. And just on that journey, man, kind of grew up in church, but, you know what I'm saying, I always was still kind of like, you know, doing my little thing, like, you know, knucklehead, wanting to be like my older cousins and stuff. Because they was the cool ones. They was the ones. I'm talking about, it used to be stuff that was just stupid. I'm talking about, I just go with them to the dollar store, and you know what I'm saying, they up in there, they wearing them big old and one shorts, so they can go up in there and bust open packs of drawers and then throw on a whole bunch of them. I'm up in there with them, like just doing it, not even really needing it like that. You know what I'm saying? But doing it because I wanted to, you know, fit in and be with them, and you know, doing all that stuff. I'm a watch what I say when we say this, but y'all know this. Growing up, we're gonna call it. We used to call it something else, but I'm gonna call it like you know, I'm gonna just say knocking on people's doors and dashing.
Oh, I got you. We know what you're talking about. You know what you're saying. Yeah.
But doing stuff like that, running around with them, shooting guns and stuff, just all type of craziness, man. Getting into some stuff, man. But a lot of times, me and my little brother was the scapegoat because we made good grades in school. So they'd be like, "Oh man, well, D and them coming with us.
So yeah.
Oh, y'all can go there. Y'all go to the party. Y'all can go to, you know what I'm saying. If as long as they going with you, y'all can go. That mean it ain't gonna be." And we was the main ones, going crazy, man. But did all that, and then whenever I hit 15 years old, man, I was an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I used to play AAU ball. I used to run track, run cross country and stuff like that. And then when I hit 15 years old, man, I got diagnosed with juvenile diabetes.
Oh, okay.
This is a funny story about that. Whenever I found out I had juvenile diabetes, man, I had just I'm gonna say had relations with a young lady in school, unprotected. So I was thinking, man, I got AIDS. I got it. There's something going on. Man. Hey, no lie, man. My little brother can attest to that, man, because like it was like it was like for like 3 months
gave
straight.
Juvenile.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like for like a 3 month span, man. Like I kept having to go to the bathroom a lot, and I always was like getting up in the middle of the night going to the bathroom, and then whenever I got real bad, I was only like $175 in high school, man. So, and I lost 25 pounds in a week.
So you really
like you can see my bone structure in my face, bro. Like it was crazy. So I'm sitting there like, man, I'm looking, I'm barely moving, you know. And then my daddy just making it worse. My daddy was like, man, just give us some orange juice and some Robitussin. So man, I went to the bathroom, but then I just kind of collapsed on the couch, and my mom was like, we got to get him to the hospital. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? My dad, God rest his soul, Ken Hamilton, man. He was like, Ken, we got to get him to the hospital. I don't know what's going on. So when we get to the hospital, they checking me out and all that type of stuff, man. They was like, they was trying to figure out what was going on. At that point, I was like, man, she done gave. I'm out of here, man. I'm gone, man. I done lost my virginity. I'm out of here. They done told me about this. So, and they walked in there and was like, man, his blood sugar could not read it. It wouldn't register.
Dang.
And they was like, so we believe he got juvenile diabetes. We need to ship him from Allen Parish Hospital to Memorial. So I'm like, okay. First thing I was like, oh, thank God I ain't got AIDS. But then I was like, hold on, a couple of my family members got diabetes, so what's that? And then, going from there, just having that big scare, man. I grew up in church, but like I said, just was still being a knucklehead and stuff, and that kind of like woke me up a little bit. So, man, I need to get like serious. You know what I'm saying? So I got saved for like the 5th time, but for real. And then I just started walking this walk, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been walking this walk ever since, bro, and just been trying to keep God first. Of course, I done slip and fell plenty of times, especially in my adult life, plenty of times, bro. But man, by the grace of God, man, just one thing I like to tell people, bro, is I'm never gonna give up on you because God never gave up on me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even with me knowing better, He still gave me the grace to get up. Like I said, I pray that prayer every night. I'll be like, God, whatever sins, I repent of whatever sin that I don't know of that I did, and I repent of the sins that I do know of. And I hope that you reveal to me what those sins are that I don't know of, so that I could correct those things. And like, so because God never gave up on me, man, I always look at it like, man, even whenever people like knee deep in it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna encourage them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you, but I'm gonna encourage you, like, yo, come on, man, like, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, man. Come on, man, you know what you're supposed to do, man. You know you're supposed to this, that, and the third. But after I got saved, bro, I was already kind of dibbling and dabbling in music, but then I really kind of like really got into it, and that's whenever I started listening to like the 116 Click, Lecrae, Flame, Cross Movement, all them different people, and I was like, oh, okay, so they got like godly rap music, you know what I'm saying? And then my dad started grabbing like whatever he could find. He was like, oh man, well, since y'all ain't listen to this, let me get you this. You know what I'm saying? You got the gospel gangsters. That was before my time. The gospel gangsters, BBJ, T-Bone and all that. So I'm listening to all this. I was like, oh, okay, so you really could do it. And then just being honest, I was just like, man, but it don't sound like what I'm hearing on the radio. It don't sound as good. Like not saying that they wasn't good or nothing like that. It's just for my ears, being down here in Southwest Louisiana, it don't give me that feel. And then I just started kind of experimenting with my own stuff, man. And then that just brought me to where I am now, bro.
Man, that's amazing to hear. Just the progression, and like something that you said that I want to kind of piggyback on is being able to make a mistake, asking for forgiveness, and keep going. So we got to show other people that grace. And that's something like I'm working on constantly, like, you got to show them grace. You was once this way. And sometimes it could be hard because it's like, you want to shake them and say, you don't see what I see? I'm like, you don't see? Like, it makes sense when you sit and you line everything up. And there's some guy been working on me, is just like, have that compassion. Because the scales haven't been removed from the eyes yet. So just keep feeding into them and just keep saying, God, all I can do is pray for them, because it gets hard trying to be a teacher at the same time you still learning, and to get back on the music thing, I had to kind of embrace rap because I'm more of I like the spiritual music, like the stuff that's really going to touch my soul, make me throw my hands up, and I started to embrace some of the rap music and start figuring out, all right, let me figure out what I like and kind of what I don't like. And like I said, growing up, like I listened to rap. Like when I was in the secular music, I listened to it before, and then to come on this side, it's kind of a little bit different, And you could kind of speak more to that because you the musician. I'm just a person that listened to it.
I got you.
But it was kind of different. And it's even now for me sometimes like, let me decipher what I like and what I don't like. And it's been a nice transition to figure out what I don't like and what I do like. Because when you listen to it, sometimes it could be so close. It's close, like it's real close from.
I feel you.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel you.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, God, I don't know. Because sometimes it's so close to making you want to feel like you listen to real music. I'm like, I don't know. And then for me, I was never like a person that listened to the lyrics. I was more of a beat. Even when I was listening to the world of music, I was more into the beat.
Yeah.
And as I got older and closer with God, he like, listen to what they
So
saying.
that means you was like a Silk the Shocker fan, you know what I'm saying? So the beats was going hard.
Man, look,
he don't rap on
I'm
beat.
older than y'all. So I remember when Silk, like when they was big.
Yeah.
You know, and listen to the beat. I didn't, you know, like you said, now that I'm like, how we listen to Silk? No disrespect.
Because the beats was banging,
The
bro.
beats
That's
was
what it
banging. And
When I got old, I'm like, man, what are you saying? What?
I'm telling you, bro. Hey, especially when it's somebody from your state, it's like, you know, they done got big. Like whenever No Limit got big, and whenever
Cash Money
got big, it was like, man, we out of here, man. Louisiana on the map.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's understandable. You just rocking with it.
I'm
Then
just
the
rocking
beats
with it. And
banging.
I'm like, man, I'm like, no, I can't even believe we were listening to that. But of course, you know, young, caught up, watching everybody else, what they doing. So it's like, they play it so much, man, let me just go ahead and embrace it because everybody else doing it. And, you know, we wanted to be cool and stuff like that. And as I continue, like, man, I tell people, I like to do research. Because at some point I was like, I don't want to be the fool.
Yeah.
And the more I start digging into stuff and listening to this preacher preaching on it and this, and it's two preachers that I really like. I like Philip Anthony Mitchell, fire. You ever heard of Pastor G. Craig Lewis?
Yeah.
Him. And he was the one that changed my life because, man, I remember when I get a car, I had to have the music in the trunk. He could tell you, like, I had, look.
I'm hyping up. Turn it up, D.
It was like, yeah.
Look, I couldn't function without it. Oh, look. I had to have my 212s in the back, my 4 to 6 6x9s.
All in the size.
Boy.
I couldn't drive. I couldn't function without music so bad. And when that was introduced to me, my mom and them showed me, I'm like, I don't believe it. For the longest, I was in denial. I was like, I don't believe none of that stuff. It don't make sense to me. And then, man, at some point, God just say, you keep asking for the truth, I'm going to show it to you. But your heart have to be open to receive it.
Yeah.
And it took me like 2 years after they showed me the first tape for me. No, it took like 5 years because I was like, I don't believe it. But then I was like, you know what, God? I'm going to meet you halfway. I'm going to give up the rap that's talking about killing,
I'm a jam R&B.
but I want this R&B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because God, look, God, I'm not a wild dude. I got one girl, so I'm going to just listen to the R&B.
There it is.
And they see trying to haggle. And God was like, okay, I'm going to show you. So, man, I started listening to that, and God said, okay, I'm going to show you the truth about that. And then he just started revealing more stuff, and I was like, God, I just got to throw my hands up because you real. You keep, every time I come up with an excuse, you giving me an answer for it.
Yeah.
And, man, from there, I've been head first with telling people, man, for so long, like I said, I was in denial about it, and God just kept revealing the truth to me. And then ever since then, I've been one of the ones, I say, man, I'm a spokesperson for you gotta know the difference. You can't have it both ways. Mm-hmm. And like God keeps telling me, you can't love the world and love me that is of the world. And I tell people, I say, God have his people that make some awesome gospel music. Find what you like and roll with it. And so many times, man, I tell people, you got to really know how demonic this music is, especially at the day and age we're in now. There's so much information that you can go get. Google it. Like, your simple Google search going to take you down a whole rabbit hole to find out what the truth is. You know, and I want y'all to take on the music, how y'all feel about the music. I can go on and on about it, but how y'all feel about?
Yeah, it had a strong hold on me for a minute until I started listening. Stop listening to the beat and the words. Then I look at the video for the symbolism. I'm like, oh, nah, I'm good. I chilled out on it. 'Cause I'm like, nah, because some of the stuff they were saying, I wasn't with that. I'm saying some stuff that I don't even believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I feel you. I feel you, bro. I think for me, you know, being a musician, you know what I'm saying, it's a different thing because I do understand, like, of, you know what I'm saying, how much time and effort it takes to
do it.
come up with, you know what I'm saying, to do it, come up with concepts, even if you want to experiment and try to, like, bring the listener on a journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a part 2 to the Lunch Money album that I put out last year that I'm about to drop in a couple months, and I got a couple of songs on there where it's a experimental with how I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? I got a song called "I Wish You the Best," and I know a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, like you have like some super religious people. That's why I use the word religious because. You know what I'm saying? I always think about, you know what I'm saying, being a Christian is more about relationship with God rather than religion. True. You know what I'm saying? You can have a set of rules, but yeah, those rules, just like whenever Jesus was like, you know what I'm saying, whenever they was like, man, you going against the laws of Moses, and he was like, I am the law of Moses. I didn't come to, I'm trying to remember how the scripture go whenever he was like, I didn't come to, I didn't come to break the law, I came to fulfill it. You know what I'm saying? So you got some people would be like, oh, well, you can't say wish. Well, I took a normal phrase that most people would be like, man, you know, I wish you the best. You know what I'm saying? I wish you the best of whatever. And I took it from the aspect of, because I had a situation in my life where, you know, I don't want to say people, certain people was hating on me, but I want to say that people were kind of conspiring against me and stuff like that. And it's like, when you really like live this life and you really like walk in the love of Christ, you know what I'm saying? God'll give you that love for a person that's even doing you wrong. So I was like, man, I wish you the best. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though you're doing this, doing that, man, I still wish you the best. I still hope that you know what I'm saying, that you find your way. I still hope that you know what I'm saying, find God, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever your journey is. I hope that God uses that journey to bring you closer to him. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, a lot of people wouldn't like look at a situation like they'd be like, man, you know, so even in Christian rap, bro, people be talking about the haters so much, and it's like this, even though it's getting bigger, this is not like a like a regular hip hop where it touches a multitude of people, like globally. So it's like you ain't got that many haters, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like every other song, somebody hating on you. But I will say this though, bro. Just to get back to your point, my bad.
No, you good. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah. Just to get back to your point. One thing that the Holy Spirit had dealt with me about was first, like I had to separate myself from the music because God doesn't want anything to influence you more than His Spirit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I got away from the music, and I just was like strictly gospel for a while. And then it was like when I did start going back into it, like number one, if I'm trying to combat something, I have to. It's just like in football or any type of sport. You got to study your opponent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I don't always consume it to be like, oh, well, this is my favorite artist. I'm just a stand for this artist. But it's like, you know, if a new song on the radio or a new song like, you know, out, it's on TikTok or whatever, I'm like, okay, I'm going to peep into it. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying, if the beat is nice, you know what I'm saying, I can be honest about it and be like, oh, man, yeah, this is dope or whatever. Okay, now what is the, you know, digging deeper? What's the lyrics? What's the meaning? Like you say, what's the symbolism in the videos? All this, that, and the third. And it's like, you know, the Holy Spirit started unctioning me into like, you know, you can enjoy music, but you cannot let it influence you. Like you can be like, okay, a love song, like even if you want to take it like back to the old school, like a Marvin Gaye song or like a Frankie Beverly and Mays. You know what I'm saying? You can enjoy the music. You know what I'm saying? We got the, you know, the Let You Slide. You know what I'm saying? The two-step line that's going on whenever you hear Before I Let You Go. Before I Let Go, and it's like you're enjoying it. And you're having a good time, just like, and I don't want to use this because too many people use it in the wrong way as a cliche when they use the scripture like, well, did Jesus turn water into wine?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't, you know, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't turn it into wine like, oh man, we finna turn it up.
He did it to show his power.
He did it to show his power, and on top of that, there was a custom where if you ran out of wine, it was like in the Jewish customs, it was like if you ran out of wine at the reception for your nuptials, it was like a sign of like quote unquote like bad luck on your marriage. So it was like, because this was like friends of Jesus, he was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? And Jesus did that all the time. He would use like what was in the times to show people like, okay, all right, well, I know that these people gonna make it, and I don't want it to be like it's bad luck on the marriage. Well, I'm gonna turn water into wine, not only just to show my power, but to, you know what I'm saying, like to show like, oh no, this is gonna be a long lasting marriage. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, it's like you got to stop taking stuff out of context. You really have to dig deep. That's why I love what you said earlier about, man, like say, go down the rabbit hole sometime, dig deep so that you can get all of it rather than just getting on the surface, because you can be feeding yourself something. Like I'm not about to. I'm gonna use this analogy. I'm gonna leave it right there because I think everybody at home and y'all gonna understand. I'm not gonna if I'm single and I just broke up with my girl, right? So I'm single now. I'm not gonna put on Chris Brown's residuals and think that that's gonna help me through a situation. That's gonna help me get into a situation, especially if I'm a child of God. If I'm supposed to be abstaining from sex, if I'm supposed to be abstaining from, you know what I'm saying, immorality, then why would I be putting something in my spirit all the time? Not saying that the song don't sound good or whatever, but why would in that moment I put something like that in my spirit to where I'm like, I'm gonna just run out and it's gonna make me want to run out and like,
It will.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And man, the thing I didn't understand, and I tell people, man, to go back to what I said about I didn't want to be stupid. Like if we talking about something, I want to know the history. I want to go back. I want to see. I want to know. And one of the people that helped me understand, man, the history of music, how powerful music is you already know, G. Craig. And man, I would advise anybody that want to take this walk with God, that want to grow, that want to know, man, he got 14 Truth Behind Hip Hop tapes. 14. And I've been going back and watching them just so I can get a refresher, just so my mind could be fresh, and just so I could actually just talk to other people, man, to understand the history of music. It's another, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and pitch them too, man. There's another group, they on YouTube. A lot of stuff that they do is free. Good Fight Ministries. They will help you guide through the music, man. They are ones, they actually do a lot of the rock and roll. They did stuff on Jimi Hendrix. They did stuff on Elvis. They did stuff on, I can't think of his name right now. It's another guy. It'll come to me later. But, man, they be breaking it down. And the thing about them breaking it down, man, is all these artists talk about, they at least got one song that talks about meeting the devil, doing some kind of deal with the devil, and I'm like, if all the dots connect, what they tell you?
Yeah, they all, like, when they get to a certain part of fame, they all have to say something about the devil or show a relationship towards that in some manner. They got to do something like that.
Man, it's I tell people, man, music, we don't even realize because music has always been a part of our life how powerful music is.
Something just came to my mind. You remember the Crossroads song, right?
Oh, that's
You know what that meant?
That's
You know what they say when you go to the crossroads, you make a deal.
Man, that's I want to say.
Boy, yeah, when that
I
came
know.
out, I never registered until I got older.
But his name is man, it's a black guy that went to the crossroads. I want to say Ben Johnson, but I know I'm about to look him up.
The dude that
Go ahead and talk, bro. I'm about to look it up.
Nah, but in that situation, it was like meet me at the crossroads.
Oh, you talking about Bone
then-
Thugs?
So you won't be
And I heard
lonely
an
and all
old
that.
song where the dude say he sold the soul at the crossroads. Man, right? Something like, oh, that's what made sense.
I'm about to
I'm
look
saying,
up.
oh, because if you watch the video, you're like, hold on, what's all this going on? But then,
Yeah, his name is Ben Johnson. He was one of I ain't gonna say one of the first, but he was a black guitarist.
Yep.
Yeah, you talking about Ben
I know
Johnson?
you're talking about. That's what it is.
Sold his soul to the devil, man. The crazy part about he got like a whole. If it's not a whole album, he have like 5 or 6 songs that's talking about him selling his soul to the devil, man. And you know, you go back to them, man. And I can give you. We're gonna not do the whole spell now, but I can give people like a whole history of people that's been talked about selling their soul to the devil, and there's some kind of devil stuff in their music. It's a bunch of them, man. It's a bunch of them. But I say all that to say how impactful music is. Everybody probably at one point in time could say how music had a strong hold on them. Mm-hmm. How it's so hard to let it go, and it's everywhere. We can't escape it.
You can't even block it. 'Cause you hit a beat. You hit a beat in that moment.
You know, and one thing a pastor said, man, is like you gotta look at if somebody creates something, what is the intent of it? What is the intent of it? So let's just because I've seen people let's just say Glorilla made a song. So then they'll take it and say, well, let me flip it for God. If you listen to it and you don't already heard Glorilla rap to it, what's your first mind when you hear
thinking
it?
the Glorilla lyrics.
So your mind is stuck on her versus what they saying. So What is the intent? You see what I'm saying? What is the intent of it? The intent of it.
And I do understand, like, you know, because I've never been a huge fan of like people
Doing
I've been a fan like kind of like how it was back in the day whenever like whether Wayne was doing it, Ice Cube was doing it, where it was like, okay, I'm gonna rap over your beat, but I'm not gonna rap the same type of way that you did, or like kind of try to do a revamp of like your hooks and all that type of stuff. So I've always been a fan more of, okay, if you're gonna do like a freestyle over somebody beat or whatever, then that's cool. But I've never really been a fan of people who like redo. Now some of it be dope, like some some Christian hip hop artists, like, you know, like my sis, like our sis Rivers Rubin. She'll take a popular song and she'll redo it, and it just be like, you know, whenever you hear, you know what I'm saying, it's filled with, you know, say word of God. But I see a lot of Christian rappers who will take the song almost verbatim. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like they'll just insert, and they'll just insert a couple of things, like, you know what I'm saying, like it's like God or Jesus, but it's like, okay, but there was really no creativity to me.
It's not
really a lot of creativity brought into that, because like one thing that I heard a minister say over the pulpit one time was, the devil can't create nothing; he could just pervert what you create.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because God is the creator. So all of these different genres of music and stuff like that, God gave you the imagination and the gift to create it. But you let the devil come in and pervert what he gave you to create.
And I tell people, once Satan comes in and does that, you there's nothing you can do, you know. And one thing is, like I said, man, as a person that really just I'm not a musician, but music just always fascinated me on the aspect of how, like I said, it has a control on people. And one thing I don't think a lot of people actually know or pay attention to is this music is preyed on. This is facts. This is people telling you like, hey, we put demonic spells over this music. We do certain things to entice these people to want to go out, support the music, and do whatever they do.
I seen the interview. R. Kelly was talking about Half on the Baby. You know how many people had kids on that song?
I mean, well,
Bro,
I mean,
he said everybody got credit to that song.
You know, and it's
probably some of us.
For real, like,
probably so.
I'm just saying, for real.
Probably so. And what I want people to understand, man, is the best thing that you can do is you be original. Because I always say musicians are creative. Some of the most creative people ever. Be original. Because you got to understand, let's just say Chris Brown got one of the hottest songs, and I never heard the song, but I heard snippets because, of course, we all on TikTok, we know whatever, right? Yeah. We can't avoid it. So when you scroll and you see it, with the residuals, right?
Yeah,
If you are a Christian artist and you make a song, whatever, over residuals, more people are going to follow you because you're doing that versus what your message is. So really and truly, they not listening to your messages. Oh, he on that residuals beat by Chris Brown. I'm going to go listen to it. Now, guess what? When you're going to go drop your music, it's not going to get as many views as residuals because more people will follow you because of that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how are you going to, residuals wasn't made for God. So now you didn't try to play something that was for Satan on top of some God, and you really think God want that? You see what I'm saying? It's already tainted. The only thing that God wants from this world is you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know why. So
You're already a part of it.
Yeah, so why would God want something that was intendedly made for Satan? That's what it's used for.
I also think, like, I think that's why, like, God, like, the past, like, year, you know what I'm saying, maybe year and a half, I unbeknownst to me, just kind of had me pivot into, like, posting more of my, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like if I'm, like I do the whole Bible Bars series.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying? I do the, you know what I'm saying? And it's like because that, and it's just something that I came up with because that's how me and my brother study. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing that since we was like teenagers. Like we always like, we put ourselves like, okay, what if this was going on right now? You know what I'm saying? Like how would it be? How would the, You know what I'm saying? How was Samson and Delilah? How would
But
it be
the thing
portrayed
about
now?
it is-
You know what I'm saying?
What you saying? We actually do go through stuff like that. He in the same
Exactly,
boat with him.
bro. Exactly.
So like when you read, you're really reading about yourself as well because we go through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think he just kind of like veered me into that to where it's like, if you do support the music, it's almost like you supporting the music because you already know what I'm about.
Yes.
Rather than, okay, I jumped on the trend, and you know what I'm saying. Of course, I'm gonna still do my thing, but you not following me like you said for I hopped on the trend, I hopped on this first, and tried to blow myself up, and then whenever I try to give you Jesus,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you rejecting it. You like, okay, this got 20,000 views, and then whenever I kind of gave you a Bible verse of the day, now it's 200 views. You know what I'm saying? I only got one comment or no comments.
No
You know what I'm
comments,
saying?
man. And that's why I be looking at it and I be like, just pay attention how sneaky Satan is. He would try to use any little thing to try to make it seem okay. Like, oh, I can take this from the world and God, let me flip it for you. And God looking back and say, why would I want something that was the original intent? That's my whole thing. I tell people, look, whatever it is, look at the original intent. I was listening to this pastor the other day, man. It was like a 7-minute spiel. But he said, everything that you look at was created from this world. Everything we see, what is the only thing that wasn't made from this world? Music.
Yeah, music too.
Music is the only thing. And he started breaking down like how powerful music is. And I always tell people, man, look at the original intent. We some of the most creative people ever. Create our own. God doesn't want anything that was not intended from him.
Man, that's good.
You know,
That's
you
good.
see,
It's like now you got me going back through the rabbit hole of like, you know, different verses in the Bible about, you know what I'm saying, like how before the world was even created, man, you got, you know what I'm saying, Lucifer was the, you know what I'm saying, he was like the leader of worship. So
Yes.
so and his like his extremities was like instruments.
His body
You know
was
what I'm
made
saying?
of instruments.
Yeah,
all
it's like all that, and it's like, so what was the original intent then?
because think
It
about
was
it.
worshiping God.
I know
And then
like you said,
he let pride get inside and
Boom.
turn into worshiping himself.
because look,
crazy.
I know me. If I was in the world and you was a Christian rapper, and then I see you rapping over that Juvie beat, and then you come and talk to me, then, hey, man, you know, you don't need to be listening to that Juvenile. You need to come over here and listen to this good gospel. You know what I would have told you?
Boy, get up off feet.
No. How you want me to listen to that, but you just dropped the gospel thing on the Juvie beat? Yeah. I know, like, so I'm
I
looking
get
at
what
it from
you're
a
saying.
worldly person, because if you give the devil just a little an inch, now they, like a law, like, so if you was in court, if you give a lawyer just one little out to help
yeah,
his
it's over
client,
with.
it's
It's
over.
over with.
Your whole case is dismissed. So I be trying to tell people, if you just give the devil a little, your whole case is dismissed from helping this person that's on the fence. They like, I want to leave this completely out, because if you drop the residual thing and I'm feeling it, now they gonna feel like I can just listen to this Chris Brown song because
I ain't gotta listen to
he
that.
talking about this, and then now you done went down now you didn't put all that back in your playlist, and before you know it, now you all confused. Like, God, I love you, but I don't know no more. I'm confused. I don't know which way to go. I think I know God, I know I love you, but is it okay for this? So now you questioning everything that you thought you knew. Now you all
starting to
lost
compromise
again.
more, and you're getting further and further and further.
Farther and farther away. So man, like when I see it, I'm like, I wish I could rap, I wish I could sing, but I can't. But y'all are some of the most creative people. Like, let people accept you for what you do. Cause Tuja just called me. He was like, man, I was trying to sing you something. He's like, man, Marvin Sapp dropped a whole R&B album for Valentine's Day. I said, what?
I saw it.
You seen it?
I ain't
Then
even-
T
I saw it.
said,
I saw it.
you seen it?
I ain't know about
I
it.
ain't seen it
I
yet.
hadn't listened to it, but
I
I
ain't
saw
know
it though.
about it.
Then he said his statement let you know he felt convicted. Like, he read what Marvin say, and it was like what Marvin saying, he convicted about it, but he still did it. I'm like, but I told him, I said, you know, it's not surprising, because I can kind of just tell how Marvin Sapp had been moving.
The thing about it, when I seen the little fraternity thing he had done.
Marvin Sapp did?
Yeah, I seen it, and I'm like, oh.
Fraternity thing. What did
Yeah, boy, I seen something about that. And I'm like,
Oh, you with Marvin Sapp or William Murphy?
hold on. I think it was
No,
him.
you talking about William
You
Murphy.
talking about
Yeah,
William
but
Murphy?
I think I seen him too, though. That's the
But
thing.
I kind of seen
I
like
think I did see
Marvin
him too.
Sapp had a church. He left his church, and I don't know if he started something else, whatever. But he just one of them ones that it's like I'll be like sometimes, God, why we got to live in this social media era where like the people we grew up listening to, we got to get to really know them as people, because it makes you realize like it hurts your soul.
That made me want to, and I wasn't even gonna talk about this, but that made me want to pivot into like, okay, I got this off TikTok, The Servant. You know what I'm saying? With
I like
Mark,
that.
you know what I'm saying? Mark. So I be collecting like different like, you know what I'm saying, Christian paraphernalia and stuff like that, right? So my uncle had came up with this concept like when I was 10 years old, and it never left my mind. And he used to always say like he wanted to like create like these shirts that had like Jesus with some sunglasses, and the sunglasses spelled out the word Sysjim, Cysjim, and what it was gonna mean was, can you see Jesus in me, right? And I was like, okay, but that was just the concept for just a shirt. He was like, man, I think that would be a dope shirt. And it never left my mind, and it was like whenever I got older, it was like, man, it popped back in my mind like a few months ago, and was like, hey man, you need to start that. Like you need to start that, like, because, and then the Holy Spirit started talking to me like, can you see Jesus in me? It's almost like a double entendre. It's like, okay, I'm asking you, can you see Jesus in me? Like, okay, whenever you see me, do you see the light of God? Do you see, you know what I'm saying, like Christ? And then number two, on the flip side, it's accountability.
Yes.
Can you see Jesus in me? And if you can't, I need to go back to the drawing board.
Man,
I need to go
that's
back.
deep.
I need to go.
That gave me a chill just thinking about
You know
that.
what I'm saying? I need to go back. So I'm like, yo, and it was like, so when he started like giving me that revelation, I was like, yeah, I got to start it. So I got to research on how to, so I get hats and all that type of stuff, right? And just kind of started. But going to what you were saying is like, I think that the biggest thing is like we have to get to the point of if you go to God first about stuff, you will never have to redo it. You know
That's
what
a
I'm saying?
fact.
If you actually like go to, and I've been challenged with that, like to try to do that even more, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like whether it's I mean, you know what I'm saying, like I preached my first sermon like last year, right? And it was like from there it's like and I was asked to do it a few times, and it was like at first I was like, nah. And then it was like, I was like, man, but then I never went to God about it. Went to God about it. I was like, man, hey God, you want me to do this? He was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I put a word in you already. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, boom. Now, hadn't preached since then, because now I was like, okay, God, I got to go to you first. So when I go to him, he be like, nah, I ain't got nothing for you to say. I got nothing for you know what I'm saying? I got something for you to say on TikTok and these Bible bars right now. I got something for you to say on this song right now. I got something, you know what I'm saying? So if you just continue to keep moving with him and just acknowledging him first, you'll never go wrong.
Definitely agree with that, man. I like how you said that, man. When you go to God first, he never steer you wrong. Because one of the things I know I would deal with is God would tell me do something, and I'd be like, God, let me do this real quick, and I'm gonna get back to you. And something like had been on my heart lately, and I told my wife this. I said, I can't chase money. I can't chase the things that the world then told me I needed. Because I say when I accomplish it and I get it, I'm already thinking about the next thing. So I don't never stay still to appreciate it or just be complacent. Because the world done told us it's a problem if you complacent. But it's really not if you really think about it, because you're able to stop, appreciate it, and say, do I need to go to the next thing, God, or I just need to be still? Because the more we chasing stuff, the more it pushes away from God. So like example, you get a house. Some people may feel like, oh man, now I got the house, my car got to match my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
you.
now you chasing, now you got a house, a car, you got bills, you got this, you got this. And before you know it, man, I can't go to Wednesday service. I gotta work. I can't go on Sunday. I need to work this extra to fulfill all the things I didn't went by. And now you didn't push farther and farther away from God. And I start thinking, I say, you know what? I gotta slow down. I'm good on this. I gotta learn to just be chill and push God in the forefront. And I'm like, because not only do I need it, but so many other people need what we can give. But like you said, man, we chasing what they done told us the American dream is. Where in the Bible it say that's the American dream? You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I feel you. The Bible ain't even American.
Yeah, you know,
You
so
know
it's
what I'm
like,
saying?
who told us, society programmed us to tell us what the American dream is, and God is sitting there saying, sometimes I want you to be still, to be in my presence, to pass the word, because we all called to be disciples in some kind of way. We might not all not been called to be preachers, but disciples, to help somebody, to guide somebody, to put out that word. You might have a fire word, and you ain't put it out. Why? Oh, I'm tired, or I'm gonna get back to it, or next thing you know, getting back to you didn't forgot. Because God placed it
didn't
right
go to
there
my
on
notes
your
on
mind.
In that
to do.
moment, because somebody in that moment
Needed
that right there.
that.
That's why I make a post on Facebook.
Needed
I'll go to
that.
my notes and talk about
You
it
know,
later on.
and one thing I'm learning, I say, God, you want us to be truthful and honest, but guide my words, because I can say something that I know what my intent was, but it might come off a little bit harsh. Because, man, I'm one of the ones, the same way I'm talking to y'all, you know this. You a vision, I'm the same way. Like, I don't know how to, man, God didn't bless me, and God is so good, and God is this. And then we get off this microphone, and then I'm cursing, I'm saying stuff, and then you looking like, who this person I'm talking to? And that's why it blows my mind for some people, and I'm like, God, maybe that's why I don't have no friends, because maybe I'm not in the sense like, oh, I'm too real, but I'm just too honest. Like, I don't know how to be no other way. And I done seen it so many times where people feel like, oh man, this person is such a good person. But I tell my wife, I say it's two type of people. It's a person that's good in the world, and that's good in this word that God say we stand on. And I see so many people that it sound good to say about God, but you really don't love God, because to love God is to honor him. And that blows my, like, I be shocked. I'm like, but you was just saying how God told you to do this, and God gave you a vision for this, and you talking like this? And man, I wish my face probably would say it all, but I be thrown off, and I'm like, this is where we losing so many people, because y'all look up to these people, and then you hear them talking. Now you like, if that's what a Christian is, I'm cool. And if you probably talk to a bunch of people and say, why don't you love God, whatever? Because Christians aren't real.
Yeah.
Think, like, if you have a conversation with people, that's their number thing, man. Man, Christians ain't real. Somebody in the church was one way in church, but then outside they another way. So they don't even we don't want to hear nothing about God.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
true.
wow.
That's why you got to monitor what you do, because you never know who's watching.
And it's so hurtful, bro, like, to see people not loving God because that person that got the house, got the car, got the business they look up to, and they be fly in church. They be in the front, throwing their hands up to the music and acting a fool. But then you see them outside, and they're a whole different person.
Man, and I mean, it's so true to what you said, bro, about like, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be you gotta be the same way, you know what I'm saying, all the time, because I remember whenever I was a teenager, I was working at Kashada as valet. And I would see like the same people at church. I would see some of the deacons, ministers that coming in, I'm valet parking their car, coming in with women that's not their wives, men that's not their husbands, coming out sloppy drunk or whatever. And in my mind, this is how I thought. Man, I don't even do half of what they doing, bro. If they going to heaven, I'm a shoe in, bro. Not even understanding, like, nah, bro, you not a shoe in. You not, you know what I'm saying? You not making it in either, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was trying to remember. Pivoting back to your point about, because it still kind of coincides with the whole thing about when you were talking about with Marvin Sapp. And you know what I'm saying, like, I hadn't seen the interview or whatever where he was like, he was convicted, but he still put it out. Well, first of all, if you're convicted about something, you probably need to back up and just, like I said, consult with God first. Secondly, I want to ask you a question and challenge you. Is like, okay, like you said, man, you wish we could go back to the days where it was like, why, it was social media. You know what I'm saying? And we get to see them as real people. I want to ask you why.
You know, because, man, I ain't gonna lie, like, Marvin is still in my list in my playlist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Marvin got some stuff that got me through. But then it's like, God, I gotta take them out because I need somebody that's like, I'm the type of person I need 100% real. Like if I was young enough to still play basketball, I need you on me.
Yeah.
And I said I was kind of being funny, whatever, because I'm glad things are the way that they are, so we could actually see people for who they are. But it hurts my soul because it's like, man, you helped me when I needed it. I never would have made it.
Yeah.
Help me make it.
I feel you.
You
I
feel
feel
me?
you.
And
I feel you.
to see some of these people, man, and I honestly get it now. To see some of these people, man, y'all hit the highest of highs. Like, I'm pretty sure Marvin Sapp got a couple #1 gospel hits. And it's like, it's never enough. Like, what part of you felt like you needed to make that? For what? Who you trying to please? What you trying to get? You know, from the Kirk Franklin and all of them, it's like just lovers of the world. And Kirk, a lot of people grew up on Kirk. Kirk had probably helped a lot of people. And it's like, man, to feel it, like to really get to see in real time some of these people, man, and it's like, it makes you sometimes think like, dang, if you ain't love God and you feel like God has given y'all millions of dollars and y'all got everything that y'all could ask for, and it's still not enough.
I think, and that's why I was glad whenever you said like, "Oh man, we need to know," and that was my whole point. Is like, you know, that's why I love it.
Yeah,
because it's like what I was saying about the whole clothing brand system. Can you see Jesus in me? Like, that is social media, the accountability, bro. Yeah, man. Because it's like now, you know what I'm saying, whenever all the stuff that a lot of those like gospel greats and stuff like that was going on behind closed doors that
it's
nobody
coming
knew
out.
about.
Oh, it's coming out now.
Like even the ones that's okay, you still like okay, like let's say Bobby Jones or whatever. Like, I don't know if he on social media or not. I don't hear nothing about Bobby Jones.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is if he was in the era of social media.
Oh yeah, we would have been known.
Exactly, to where we can hold him accountable to. But when you behind closed doors, you got to go through that by yourself.
But
you know
social media really gives you accountability.
Yeah.
So it basically exposes you.
It's
exactly, expose you so that
does.
And God, I feel like God uses it. You know what I'm saying? Like God, he's the author of creativity, man.
Yeah.
Like, he gave somebody the creative mind to create social media, to create Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. To where it's like back then we
didn't
thinking,
know.
like when it came to fruition, we thinking, oh man, this is dope, this cool, MySpace, whoop-de-woo. God thinking way in the future, like, no, I need to expose some things about some of my children so that they can get it together. Because I'm gonna say this, a big motivator for people to keep like trying to rise to the top or try to keep going or whatever is accolades and money, bro. And it's like, so when that comes into play, a lot of times you start doing stuff that you probably never thought you would ever do.
Yeah.
You start getting into stuff that you never thought that you would get into. So God is using social media to be like, let me expose this about you because I need to humble you so that you can come back to me. You know what I'm saying? You the prodigal son right now.
And I hope and pray, man, that a lot of people go back to God. And I want to say this, man, we talking about Kirk Franklin and Marvin Sapp and Bobby Jones, but it's people that you see every day that got good jobs, that got successful businesses. I want y'all to understand this is, and I this is how I feel, and y'all can chime in on it, man. I feel like the devil give you blessings as well.
Oh yeah.
So y'all feel the same either? Okay.
But the thing is, like, people say, I want to give this to God. The devil's the God of this world, so you got to decipher which God are you talking about. That's
but you
why,
know,
I'm going to go back to something else. Also in Scripture, the Most High has a name, so you got to know the name, not the title of God. That's disrespect to him. That's why you got to, I got so used to saying it as a kid, but when you say God and you talking about little G, big G, people say that. But the devil's the God of this world. You cannot disrespect him.
So you got to be specific, is what you're saying.
You can't. That's why I said you got to say the name, because if you say God and like,
they don't know
which
which
one?
God.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you got to really be specific and you got to really say it.
Man, and what I want people to understand is don't equate a blessing because you see the business, the house, the car, the shoes, the jewelry, because those things could be things that the devil give you to pull you farther away from God, man. And I tell people this time and time again, like those things, I'm gonna say it again, could be things that the devil is using to pull you farther away. Because if you got a good job and you feel like whatever I'm doing now, I just got to keep doing it because I keep getting blessed, what's gonna make you change? If you feel like, oh, you know, God, I'm an alcoholic, right? Or I'm cheating on my wife, but I'm still getting blessed. What's going to make that person change?
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they going to feel like, man, I done got this job, and then I got a promotion, and then I got this. Oh, I got a car. I'm making $40, $50 an hour. What's going to make me change?
Because now you're thinking to yourself like, okay, you know it's wrong to cheat on your wife, but at the same time, you like, I must be doing something in my life to where God is blessing me. But the devil likes to bless you so he can keep you where you at.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know
yes.
what I'm saying? Like it's like I'm not about to. Oh no! As long as you right here, I'm cool with you.
But soon as you turn the page,
The whole world
the
can
whole
crumble.
world gonna crumble and everything gonna come.
You know?
because he got to take out. He got to bring out the biggest stops to stop you from elevating. So it's like, that's why a lot. I've heard ministers say, you know what I'm saying, whenever you're in your deepest, darkest valleys, that's whenever God is the most near, because the devil is like he was blessing you and had you high. And whenever you like, dang man, I'm really tripping, and then everything start crumbling. He do all that so you can run back to, well maybe that was God blessing me, so I need to run back to that. You know what I'm saying?
The object of the devil is to set you up to fall like he did. So he's gonna build you up so high. As soon as everything crumbles, you're gonna make sure you fall just like him.
Man, and since we talking about that, man, like cause I always be watching stuff, and they was just doing like I forgot what I was watching, but it was about the musicians, cause I want to, and all these musicians was just saying how they had the world, money, fame, getting booked for whatever area, whether it was an actor, musician, but they wanted to kill themselves. They wasn't happy, and I'm like, for all these people to be doing all these things and have whatever we deem is a blessing, and they telling you, I still want to kill myself. I don't feel right. If this window was right here, I'd jump out this window. And I'm like, y'all not listening to what's truly going on? That if God ain't the source of your all, but I think the problem is so many people fake God. That's the problem.
Form of godliness.
Man, they will fake it. And like I say, man, it goes back to I guess this is why I don't have no friends, because I'm one of the ones where like we gonna have an issue. If you faking it, I can't sit next to you knowing you faking it, knowing you just using God for likes and followers. Like, it don't even make sense to me, because then at the end of the day, who are you? When you looking in the mirror by yourself, who are you? You feel what I'm saying? It's like, make up your mind. Soon as I'm telling you, I'm like, soon as this camera come off, they over there cursing up a storm and saying all kind of stuff, and I'm like, God, what? I don't know, God. I don't know what to do, because now it's like, I'll be baffled. I ain't lying. Like, I don't know. I truly be baffled how, and it's like, I'm like, and God say, this is why so many people are leaving me, because the people that they look up to then failed them. That then told you this is what a model of a person or a woman or man of God is. You know, to talk that way, to disrespect their wife or their husband, and it ain't just about cheating. It's whatever in y'all marriage, you done went outside that marriage and you telling somebody else what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big issue. Like, stop going to you just because that's your best friend. What you tell? Go talk to your husband. That's your partner.
Y'all supposed to talk to
Y'all
each other.
supposed to talk to each other.
Because you could hear everybody outside. I can go say, I can say, man, hey man, this going on. You could give me the best advice in the world, but it's up to me and her to fix.
So you know, man, we keep it real. So let's just say, for instance, your girl best friend know, okay, we not having sex. Now you as a man, you think you gonna want to be on my bed. You think you gonna want to be around that girl. She know y'all ain't having sex. Now she looking at you like, what's the problem? And you could not even be the problem. But now she didn't looking at you up and down like,
You can't put people in your mix, man.
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, this what I'm gonna say, bro. That's why I was like, that was good.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm about to get married in the 4 months. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
Man,
Congratulations.
appreciate that. You
Let
know
me
what
know
I'm saying?
when,
You know
though.
what I'm saying? Huh?
Let me know
Oh,
when.
I got you, bro. I got you. Yeah, man. So, the two become one.
Yes.
Right. So now you one flesh, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I don't just randomly go and cut myself because it hurt. Mm-hmm. So why would I do that?
And the
I
thing
like
about,
yeah.
the thing about it, I said that to somebody. I said the definition of love is basically when you become one. When you say, if I say, all right, I say, D, I love you. I'm not gonna do nothing to you that I'm gonna do to me, cause it's like cutting me. That's basically what you're saying. So like when you love somebody, you see them as yourself. So if I say, I tell a girl I love you, I see you as me. I'm gonna take care of you as me. I'm gonna protect your heart as me.
But you
don't love yourself.
Exactly.
But you know what the
That's why
problem
you gotta
is,
fully
man,
heal
is
first.
Yeah.
man, one thing I say, man, that I love about God is because I allow God to just strip me so much to where, like, it made me cry at times. Like, God, I didn't know I was egotistical. I didn't know I was self-centered. I didn't know so many things about myself. And one thing God say is, the problem is we think we so smart and we don't even realize we're programmed by what we watching and what we consume. That's why God, watch what you consuming. Mm-hmm. And so many times when you watching this, because think about it, you watch a movie, what we do, we put ourselves in that role. Like, man, if that was me, y'all, so we have to watch because you watching something, he cheating, now you paranoid. Man, now you watching everything your significant other do because what you watching, it made you paranoid. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I say, God didn't strip me so much, I watch what I watch now. Like, I be careful what I watch. If I'm watching something and I feel convicted, let me watch something else. Let me figure out God. Let me find me something else.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's the problem. So many people don't realize you are what you watch. I just say it like that. You are what you watch. And so many people think, man, I'm so smart. That don't affect me. You better know about these spirits is real. These spirits from movies, from videos, from art can transfer.
You only got you only got to make a couple deposits. Well, not even just a couple of deposits. I remember one of my uncles. He had a friend, and he was like, "Hey man," and he was just talking to us when we was teenagers about like sex or whatever. But this couldn't apply to anything. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Hey man, once you turn that faucet on, you turn it off, it still got a little drip." Mm-hmm. And I was like, and then it was at the time I was like, "Man, what you talking about?" But then now it's like, "Hey man, like."
That really makes sense.
Once you've experienced, a sin or whatever it is, if you don't, like Philip Anthony Mitchell be talking about, chase after holiness, bro. You know what I'm saying? To where, you can't, you despise and you hate sin, bro, like that. Yeah, you be good for a few months. Mm-hmm. You might even be good for a few years. Because, you got women and men that be like, man, I'm celibate, I'm this, I'm that. Mm-hmm. And then it only take that one time because we all tempted. You know what I'm saying? It only take that one time. Or you might not be doing the physical act with a person. Mm-hmm. But you know what I'm saying, you taking care of yourself in some other type of way.
Yes.
And they got and the crazy part is, bro, I used to be one of them. Crazy part about it is you got Christians, man, that be like, oh man, well, at least I'm not such and such.
And that's
at least, and it's like,
at least I ain't doing it physically.
Yeah, at least I ain't this, at least I ain't that. It's like, what, you know what I'm saying? Well, why does it have to be at least? Why it can't just be?
When you withhold it, you really can think clearly. Because when you start having intercourse with so many people and doing things so many times, it clouds your mind.
Not just that. You develop a thing where you're never satisfied.
Oh yeah, that's true.
you didn't soul tied yourself to so many people that people be thinking like. That's why that's why so many women, like, if their man was cheating, they decide to marry that person, they feel like, oh, we get married, it's gonna change. It's not gonna change. Because you didn't tie your soul to so many different people. It's like a craving. It's like a drug that you gotta go out there and get it.
And the thing about it is, like, say that person slept with so many people, and that person didn't sleep with nobody. Nah, that person gonna never match up to all the people you slept with. So you're gonna be looking for
You
more
gonna be
and
chasing
more and more and more, and they can't give it to you.
You gonna be chasing it, and you never gonna be
On top of
satisfied.
that, like he was talking about the soul ties. If you hadn't properly like cut yourself off from that, I remember I saw the Shannon Sharp interview with Kel Mitchell, and he was talking about like after he had divorced his first wife and everything like that, and he was like, man, like he had went to this church or whatever, and they was casting out demons, and he was like he had demons cast out of him, and then he had prayed. Like right before that, they were like the prophet or whatever was telling him like, hey, say this prayer, like God take every person that I've been with, take them out of me and take me out of them.
Instead of saying their name, he had to say their name and stuff.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
seen
And
that.
all that, he had to say each person's name, and then like that's whenever they started casting out demons and stuff like that. So it's like if you hadn't gotten all that, you're bringing all those souls into this person's life. Now this person who's marrying you, who's a virgin, you know what I'm saying? Now they're connected to the rest of those people.
That's why
And the
people.
rest of those spirits that was on those people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy when you think about it.
It is, and it's crazy because I've heard people like they can't. They first love, they can't let them go. They didn't got married, they didn't had children. That first love come in that area. Oh,
Over with.
yeah, man! If he come over here and he just give me the lane, I'm taking it. You'll destroy your whole, because they don't realize like they're soul tied. They can't let it go. It's deep, man. And I say this: you can't get rid of that unless God has to help you. People be trying to fix stuff on their own, and I'm like, you can't fix it on your own.
Why would you need God if you?
Man, and
There's
how
no
we was
reason
talking,
to need him.
exactly, and how we was talking about it, and you kind of just said it real quick of like being hooked on porn. Man, I remember, I'll be honest, I used to back in the day like hook, babe.
I went to my days too.
Man.
To the point that I realized like I can't do that because when I did it, I had to do the same time every day.
Man,
and I was
look.
like, bro, I can't do it.
I mean, also it's like a lot of people be trying to like. I remember, because like when I was in college, whenever I was like a teenager, whenever you know what I'm saying, like you doing it and everything like that, and it's like because people like, I mean, shoot, you ain't never such and such, you ain't never did this. Now, you done created a soul tie with the adult star now.
Yeah,
Because in
Like
your
you
eyes-
got,
Man,
you got
I-
your favorites that you
yeah,
you
you
run
done
to.
did it
Look,
in the spirit.
You
You
know
done
what I'm
did it,
saying?
bro. You
Exactly.
did it.
Yeah, I mean, like so does a man think, and so is he.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Man,
you thought it already, you done did it.
man,
yeah.
it was so bad. I couldn't watch the same video more. When I spent I'm like, man, listen. It used to be times where it would take me an hour to find a video. Cause I'm
I
like,
feel you, though.
know what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm honest, man, because I want somebody. I'm honest, and it's not funny, but it's funny. And I remember
because you're free.
because
That's
I'm
when it's
free.
funny. You know what I'm saying?
And I said, God, if I do this, I gotta be honest and transparent because I want to help somebody. And I remember just, man, porn would take so much time out of my life. And I would always try to put something in my mind, like y'all was saying, or at least I'm not out here cheating, so I'm gonna go do this. And that was my way of my out. And man, I just remember one time sitting, I'm like, I just spent an hour and 30 minutes looking for something to try to satisfy that demon I had within myself. And I said, God, I'm spending 2 hours looking for, because I didn't watch this already. Man, and it was bad. I didn't watch this already. And I'm just scrolling.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I know what you're talking about because I've been there.
I'm like, God, I can't fix this on my own.
That's why
I say, God,
can't do it, bro.
I'm thinking I got self-control because, we think we so smart.
Oh, nah.
Like, I got self-control. I got this. And, man, it just had got so bad to where it was like, because me and my wife, this is our second time getting married. We got divorced and then we got back together. And the first time we was together, we was still my mama, man. I used to go in there, man, and I wouldn't even want to have, like, I wouldn't want to have sex with her. I would go watch that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's when I knew at that particular time, I was like, I'm not smarter than the devil. He got me.
Oh man, he gonna lead in breadcrumbs, brother. And just like a rat, you gonna be trying to get to that peanut butter.
Oh.
And then get.
And he knew how to trigger because, they was in the world, so they'll come in. Man, you seen such and such? Look at me. I was always trying to, because I was undercover. I didn't know that. That's why they
I
didn't know.
knew, the thing about it, I knew because we was in the same room. That's how I
So
knew.
they look, man, you see such and such, look me. Man, I ain't watching it. Look me. I peeled with that name
Yeah, man. Who is that?
Look, while I'm by myself.
The thing about it is, I knew, but I never called him out.
You know,
about it.
and I was like, God, I can't let this gonna ruin me, man. I'm like, good thing, man, I was never into going to strip club because I was like, I know me. And I would always tell them, I was like, man, I know me. I'm gonna be paying for it. Next thing you know, they gave my money up, boy, I'm hot.
Yeah,
Boy, I'm over here, man, I'm mad at everybody.
Hey, we different. Hey, we different, though. I go in the strip club, they call me a butt because I'm not giving you.
You know? So I
I'm
was like,
you wasting your time.
and they could tell you, man, like man, you want to go to the party? Nah, man, because I know me. I know that fine little thing go over there, come talk to me, and look, next thing you know, I'm giving the conversation in my mind, and I'm gone. So I just knew, stay away from temptation, stay away from this, stay away from that, and I just knew, man, that song. I said, God, I just place everything at the floor because I can't do this on my own, man. But it got bad, man. Them 1 to 2 hours just looking for a video, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
And that's why, you know, like I say, man, like I say with the whole marriage thing, with the two become one, you know, that gotta be your best friend. And it's like, cause like me and my fiance was talking about this on the phone, like last week we was studying, you know what I'm saying, like have a Bible study over the phone, and then it was like I was talking, so we know basically everything about each other, right? You know what I'm saying, all our flaws and stuff like that, stuff that we've been through, stuff that we did, right? So it's like you coming in with a clean slate, like, okay, you know everything. So I was talking to her, and I was like, man, the Holy Spirit dropped on me, and I was like, you know what's crazy? She was like, what? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, abstinence is not just for pre-marriage, it's also for post-marriage too. And she was like, what you mean by that? And I was like, because you got so many dudes that'll be like you said, oh, well, at least I'm not cheating, I'm doing this. You're not abstaining, though. You was abstaining from sex, you was abstaining from these things, you know what I'm saying, because you were trying to live for God, and then you got it, you know what I'm saying, you got it, and then it's like, okay, you having sex, and not you know what I'm saying, it's pleasurable, it's beautiful in the sights of God, you know what I'm saying, but then you can start making that an idol in your marriage, to where it's like, you still have to have that abstinence there so that you can have that time for God, rather than just, you know what I'm saying, now instead of God being your outlet, now the sex is being your outlet. And so from that, so you have to have that abstinence there, because what happens whenever it's her time of the month, or when, you know what I'm saying, or like something happens, or, you know what I'm saying, like something tragic happens to where, you know what I'm saying, she can't give it to you, or you can't, you know what I'm saying, like there has to be some type of abstinence there to where you're still honoring God, to where it's like, oh, okay, if I can't have it with you right now, that's cool. Let me, you know what I'm saying, like I can wait, because I've trained myself. You know what I'm saying, I'm studying, and I'm reading my word, and I'm being with God, you know what I'm saying, in those times where I'm not with you, because even God respects your marriage, because God is like, hey, I'm gonna give you your time to be with your wife, give you your time to be with your husband, but I still have to make time for him, and he is going to, the more I try to become holy, he's going to, you know, take those desires out to where I can be abstinent, because now you're not running to the porn site, you're not running to nobody else.
That's what I went through.
Man, I feel like he was in my brain talking to me, because that's what helped me. God, first and foremost, helped me, but just
not doing
thinking that like, God, what if in certain situations something happened, we can't do it? What you gonna do then? And I just realized, man, I was like, God, I gotta have some self-control, because you don't want to, you know, be that way. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I got tired of getting on my knees asking for forgiveness.
Man, hey, I feel you, bro. The older you get, your knees hurt.
I know that feeling, bro. You like, dang, I done did it again.
Look, God, I'm sorry. And then I paid. God said, God, I'm telling you, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be right back in it in 2 days.
Yeah,
so I
said, looking at you like, man,
yeah, you gonna be right back. And I say, God, I gotta have some self-control. I can't be one of these people that's telling people don't do this, but then I'm doing this. And like you said, I started playing scenarios in my head, like, what if this happened? What if we can't do it? What if she get hurt? Whatever the case may be. And I'm like, God, so you got to have some self-control. And since then, man, for a long time now, I'm like,
the spirit.
Yeah.
Back to that situation on the conversation. That's why I withheld, because I had to learn how to have self-control. Because you know me. So I had to learn how to control myself. And that's when I learned how to do it for the first time in my life. Like, okay, now I got it now.
You don't realize how strong he is, man, until
Boy,
you
I'm
go
like,
through
boy,
it.
I can't do it.
He was
Hey,
like,
he
man,
know,
I
man. I like, man, I can't do it, boy. Like, I'll be in the room. Yeah, I gotta go do something. I'm gone.
Man got that crack rock in the back like Pookie.
Man,
Hey, I'm
hold
gone,
on,
bro. I'm not lying. Look, man, that phone, man, your phone always ring. I'm like, man, look, hey, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Gone. So
Yeah.
I know, like, I had to learn how to control myself. It was hard, man.
And that's what I like, man, transparency, man. Because I know somebody going to watch this and they going to think they just the strongest, and no.
Nobody.
You're not stronger than...
something going. And the craziest part is this. That's why you got to study your opponent, man. You gotta read your word.
Man.
You gotta study your word and understand how cunning the devil is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my he's my cousin, but we call him my uncle because he's my dad and my dad's age. He's my dad's cousin, right? Uncle Keedy. And he was like, he said, man, I gotta have the Holy Spirit. I said, why? Because if I don't have the Holy Spirit, the devil was able to convince a third of the angels to come with him, and they was looking at God every day.
Yes.
I ain't got no chance if I ain't got him. I was like, that's
true, though.
crazy.
That's true.
Man. And the piggyback, Judah. You seen miracles. You seen him
Watch
perform all
Jesus
these things, and
every
he was
day.
still able to. So I tell people, man, you better know how the devil work. You better know how slick he is. And like I tell people, man, I feel bad for the people that's dealing with this on a daily basis because it probably gets so bad you can't open your phone.
And the crazy part about it, like, when you actually got it, that person that you want, that you couldn't get, people gonna be coming out the woodworks. You be like, where this come from?
Man,
They want to holler. While people gonna come out the woodworks.
Look
Hey,
how slick the
temptation
devil
gonna
is,
come.
man. Every platform that we have, you gonna see it.
Man,
It
it's
used
so-
to be Facebook was our
No,
safety
man,
net.
but Facebook
well,
was-
well, you know what, man? You know what? They acting a fool on Instagram.
yeah.
But TikTok just a couple years ago, but you know, Instagram they acting a fool.
like,
So we
yeah,
not go Twitter. We already know. So
But they don't have
Facebook
it
is
on
where we
Facebook,
could go.
no, man.
Facebook is where we could go mingle with our family, post our picture, our little
sir.
videos. We can hide from it. Man, now I'm like,
What is this? I'm like,
I be on there
Facebook
sometimes. I'm like,
and Twitter.
God, I'm hitting this button because I don't want to
Crazy,
see this,
bro.
but
it's going crazy. You literally, I was tripped out, and I'm like, I know. I started thinking about something. I'll be on Facebook, bro. I'll be like, I know that I don't consume no content that's even close
Just
to
popping
this.
up to-
And
No,
I'm talking about. I remember whenever, like you said, Facebook, Instagram, and you know what I'm saying, Twitter, all that. It used to just be Snapchat, like Snapchat, where you could snap people and then it disappeared like a snowflake. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, so all the rest of them had the guidelines. Man, these people, these hackers and all these different people that figured out how to bypass the guidelines. And
Man,
now,
yeah.
because nowadays everything is, you know what I'm saying, my body, my choice. You know what I'm saying, like this, you know what I'm saying, this is what I identify with, this is this, that, and the third. So now it's almost like the guidelines is off because all you got to do is say one thing, and it's like, okay. So it's like now you go on Facebook or TikTok or anywhere, and it's like, you be scrolling, looking at basketball videos,
Yeah, next thing
looking
you
at
know-
that, and then it's like a full-blown porn, and you just like,
What's
where did this
going
come
on?
from, bro?
Like,
What?
you know, you'll see a story. You'll post a story. The next thing you know, after your story, you see a girl shaking their butt. You're like, what?
Like,
you see
where
this,
did
you're
that
like, what's
come
going
from?
on? Where does it come from?
Yes, man, and we can get on the modesty. Like people don't even know when you talk about being modest, man. It's like a lot of y'all be saying y'all love God, but if you are tempting somebody, you in trouble. And I be looking at so many people, like even some of these like creators that, man, I love God and God is my everything. Man, if you got them little shorts on where we can see everything, you thinking that's God approve of because you are tempting somebody, making their flesh weak. I'm like, what we doing?
The dudes too, man.
Man,
Like, the
it's
dudes too, like I was
sitting down
saying
there want to talk to you about the Bible or something. You got the tightest white beater on.
With the
tightest-
sweatpants
the
on.
sweatpants
Something
on. You
like-
already know what the
Yeah,
deal is.
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
it's bad, man. I'm like, where can we go now? That's why I like, man. I even if it's not me, man, I want to push for more people creating godly content because we at war. We at war, and our speeches getting taken, and people that got so clever with posting stuff that they shouldn't be posting because they even do it now. Where is in the comments. So they won't put it in the actual post. They'll put it in the comments, and for some reason, when it's in the comments, it's a free fall. Unless a bunch of people report it, but if me and you love God, we ain't going to look, so it's going to sit in the comments.
We looking at the post like,
So-
oh man, this is a dope post.
I'm guilty. I looked at it one time. I'm like, boy, what is this? Go look, boy. What the heck? Like, man, it's cold blooded.
Hey, no, it be like that.
Because you want to be nosy. Because somebody said, I'm like, man, see, because you can't see what the actual thing is.
Yeah, it just
it's
got
nothing but
the
a whole
link.
bunch of emojis on
Click
it.
on the link.
Then you click on the link, you're like, what?
Look, I learned I don't click on no link. When I see that, I already know it. I say, oh, scroll, scroll. Like,
You got to, man.
this bad,
Got
man,
to, bro.
and I'm fighting because I'm like, man, I got little kids that's gonna grow up, and if we don't fight, because at some point we gonna be the older folk, and if we don't teach them how things are, by the time they age, they gonna think that's normal.
Yeah.
So who we fighting for? We of course we fighting to save our soul, but we fighting for the next
To
generation.
be honest with you, now we the older folks now. You
We the
30
old-
something, they calling you old.
Man,
I'm
like,
like,
you
dang.
man,
you
as soon
old
as you
now.
as soon as you hit 3-0, man.
They like,
what
oh,
up,
what's
Unc?
up, Mom? I'm like, oh, man.
What happened?
And we got
Whatever
that greater,
came up, bro?
yeah, man. And we got that responsibility, man. And that's why I'm like, man, there's so many of them young ones I see, man. I'm like, oh, y'all don't get it, but y'all, I'm like, yeah, they gotta make mistakes, but if we can help them avoid a lot of the mistakes, man, we doing what we supposed to. But there's so many people that, like I said, man, that's wishy-washy and lukewarm. I'm gonna just call them lukewarm. That on camera, off, two different people, and it confuses the younger generation because now they don't know what's real. But I'm praying, man. I'm always praying and asking God to develop that solid foundation that we need.
Yeah.
That we need. Man, I'd be like, we need more local Christian content creators. That's what we need. I'm cool with seeing all the people that got big numbers and all that, man. We need local. Like, is there any other gospel podcasts around there that y'all know of? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what we fighting for? You know what I'm saying?
Most
Like,
podcasts I see around is more like, what's the tea? What's the mess that's going on? Or what's the wildest thing that happened? And there ain't nothing that's like that's empowering somebody's mind or enlightening them or helping them grow.
you see what I'm saying? So that's crazy.
So I got a sister in Christ that go to my church.
Did she?
She starting one, so you know what I'm saying, that's gonna be dope. I'm patiently waiting on that.
Waiting
one
for
too,
it,
so,
man. That's
you know
what
what
we
I'm saying?
need, man.
Like you said, bro, it's local evangelism, bro.
That's
You know
what
I'm
we
saying? So many people consume podcasts more than they consume, just everyday regular stuff, like more than they consume television, more than they consume, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I often say this, man, the pastor can only do so much on Sundays. They got an hour to 2 hours to feeding you for a whole week. You know the stuff we go through from when we leave church till we go back to church? So where is that, like, where is it?
That's why you got to study for yourself. You got to
Of course, studying for yourself, but man, it's so many people that's talented, man. There's so many people that can do so many things that know the word of God that could. It's not all, because I tell people this, man, you'll notice everybody might not like it, but they watching.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they
yeah.
going
I
they
know.
gonna click.
Yeah, yo, reels and your stories.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. I
I
didn't know nothing about getting paid for Facebook. Well, I post a video. Mr. K, you gotta check Facebook. I'm like, what? Keep adding up. I'm like, what?
You see, and
So I know people watching my stuff.
and that's what I'm praying for, man. I'm like, God, I'd even produce. I don't know. I have to always talk. I can do my little thing when I'm talking or whatever. But God, we just need more, man. We need more people because, like I said, it's one thing to see the people we never can touch, but to see the people we can touch, and at some point know, like, man, I can go to him for a word. I'm going through this. I know that they're not going to take my business nowhere, but we just gonna leave it between me, you, and God. There's so many people that want to ask you about God, but just don't know how to approach it because they only see you on the pass-by. But the more you talk, the more they feel like, man, I can go to Chris.
But it happened
I can go to Beat
Hey,
Docta.
and that's the crazy part, man. I just had a testimony about that. I'm not gonna put their business out there, and I'm not gonna say their name, but you know what I'm saying. A person that I knew, I'm still connected with to this day. Just hit me. You know what I'm saying. Like we'll send like little funny videos to each other, and then I sent a funny video. Dude hit me back and was like, "Hey, bro, man, I've been thinking, and man, I'm trying to see what I can do to get saved." I was like, "What, bro?" I was like, "Man, what made you come to that decision?" And he was just like, "Bro, just life, and then just seeing how the world is going." And he said, "Man, and then plus for my kids, bro, I want to show them something." I was like, "Wow, bro," you know what I'm saying? And then me and him just was like chopping it up, and then it ended up to where he was like, "Man, I want to call you." Called me. He was like, "Hey, man, what I got to do, bro? Walk me through it." So I walked him through the sinner's prayer. Everything, man. It was just like, and then he just be hitting me up. I told him, "Hey, man, hit me up." He'd hit me up every day, be like, "Hey, man, you got a scripture for me?" You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta send him some of y'all stuff. I said, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, man, it's just amazing to see. And one of the things he told me was, "Bro, like, I know you serious about God because, like, I've been knowing you for X amount of years and you've never changed. Like your message has never changed, bro. Like I've always seen that you've even whenever you mess up, you've always like reverenced God and been like, man, you know what, man, I might have messed up, bro, but you know what I'm saying, like that's why I serve God, so that I can get better, so that He can show me and I could be better." And he was like, "Bro, I just always admired your walk." He said, "Even when I watch some of your Bible bars and this, that, and the third," he was like, "You always been solid." He said, "That's what made me comfortable enough to come to you."
See?
And I was like, "Bro, that's crazy." And I never even thought about it like that, because that was one of the last people I thought was going. You know what I'm saying? But I just be like, if God want me to drop a nugget on him, I drop a nugget on him or whatever. And and after so many years of doing that, you be like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, well, he not disrespecting me or whatever. I'm going to still just keep dropping it, whatever God tell me to do or whatever. I'm going to still keep doing that. And then it all worked together for that moment right there.
Right there. And, and that's the goal right there. You was consistent in your walk with God. Like you said, you might have stumbled, and we all do. That's why every day we ask for forgiveness. None of us are perfect, but you was consistent in your love, and all He did was watch you. Even in the midst of whatever he was going through, He knew, I might not necessarily tell you, I'm watching.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell people, like, you don't know who watching. You don't know who I don't know how to approach you yet, but once God works with me and continue to work with me, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah.
I got that a lot
You
on
know?
Facebook. I'm like, what? Wow. But I helped a lot of people through it because I've been through situations. So I kind of, go back to where I was. And I kind of try to help people through situations that I've been through, try to show them how to open that door to get to the next level. So I kind of, meet them where they at and talk to them and encourage them and tell them it's not how they start, it's how they finish.
Yeah.
And so many people feel like they so far gone, they can't come back. And that's what the enemy put in your mind, like, oh, you too far away. He don't hear you. He don't want you no more. But God right there with you.
Sometimes you got to be like, hey, bro, you do know before he was Paul, he was Saul. And he was persecuting and killing Christians.
Everybody else.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
Man, my cousin just recently called me and was like, man, I'm finally going to surrender. Tucci finally surrendered. I can say his name because he been whatever. And he called me, man. He was like, man, I'm finally just going to surrender. Like, I'm tired of everything else. I'm tired of it all. And I'm going to just, man, surrender to God. And he was like, man, the first time, this Sunday, he was like, man, I stayed the whole service. And the pastor said, oh, you stayed the whole service? Which meaning he was watching. We be thinking people not watching, they watching. And he was like, man, I stayed, and I finally just accepted, like, I'm going to go to Bible study. When they having Bible study, I'm going to go. He been to Bible study the past 2 nights. And I know he the type of person that if he say he's going to do it, he going to go all in. He going and I just kept thanking God, thank you for me being obedient and me not giving up on him, no matter what he was going through, because me and him would bump heads about the Bible and stuff like that. We was always talking. I would always try to feed into him and stuff like that. And like you said, for those moments, this is why, this is not necessarily why, but this is one of the reasons why we do it, is to pull people in, because his testimony can pull more people than I ever could dream of. That's why I tell you the same thing. And that's man, I ain't gonna lie, that's my ultimate goal now is, God, let me lead more people to you than we could ever. I might not be no pastor or whatever, but I know I have a role in your kingdom.
Yeah.
And whatever role that I need to fill, let me fill it. And things like that, man, just let God know, man, we doing what we supposed to.
And then sometimes God allows those things to happen to let you know, because sometimes, I mean, I know me whenever certain things like that happen, it's almost like God hitting me with a little nudge, like, yeah, I'm still with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, because sometimes you'll get in the hustle and bustle of life, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you living for God and this, but then sometimes you feel like you don't see no fruit from it, and then God will just hit you with that nudge, like, see,
Yeah.
see,
And
you know what I'm
the thing
saying?
about
It's
it
like,
is,
wow.
Sometimes people don't even know they doing the right thing, and then the people will show you. They will tell you. Like, man, people be gravitating to you, and they coming to you. Like, oh, nah, I see it. Because they see the light in you.
And we need that real. It's so many
People thirsty for it.
people thirsty for it, man, and there's so many like if you show them realness, if you show at the same time show them compassion and grace, man, they will cling to you and go to you and ask you things and ask you to send them things. But for a lot of people, they just want to step back and let me see if you're gonna be consistent. Let me see if what you saying is truthful. Because one thing I could tell people this: fall out with somebody and they gonna tell you what they truly thought about you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or you. Let me tell you about like you have a business and you fire that person and you've been talking the whole time. You a man or woman of God, and you'll see the truth gonna come out. You know, they love you and respect you while they working for you, but remove that, and they gonna expose to you who you really are.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, people need that realness, man. They need that. I love you, but let me tell you what the Word of God says. And that's one thing I'm learning how to talk to people. Man, I love you. I don't want to see you go this way. The path that you're taking, this is what it's going to lead you to. So let me show you what I'm on, man. And like I said, I'm one of them big components, man. I know the hold that music had on me. I know when 50 dropped their first album, where I was and what I felt like. I wasn't no drug dealer, but 50 had me thinking, man, you gotta go out there and do some things.
My man had you thinking, man, wish death upon you.
Yeah,
Huh?
look. I'm thinking I got, like you say, man, how you think you got haters and no, ain't nobody hating on you. Man, they don't want to see me shine.
Like, man, you from Kendall, bro. You ain't, you know what I'm saying?
You know, and man, I'm like, the stronghold it had on me for years. And that's why I'm a big component, like, we got to expose it because, like that pastor say, man, like, that's the really and truly, that's the only thing he have. Because if you really think about it, everything bleeds from music. Music pushes everything that Satan wants.
Yeah.
Sex. We see it. What we seeing sex is. We didn't first start watching porn. Like when we was 11, 12, 13 years old, we ain't come off the rip and say, I want to watch porn. No, we saw the girl in the bikinis in that music video that led to everything else. So music is like the source for Satan to control everything. And then it bleeds to everything, man. So that's why, like, I be so telling people how powerful it is and how it could have a hold on you. You don't even realize it. Think about this. For a child can do anything. Put that music on and see what they do. Start throwing their hands up, dancing and praising.
What?
And you haven't even taught them how to dance.
Oh, yeah, they gonna
But how do they know to find their rhythm in that beat and do all this, man? And TikTok blows my mind. Because I do my little videos, but I don't know how. I'm like, how they be doing how they memorize these dances to do whatever, right? Whole little
They
routine.
be going crazy.
And I seen a
crazy.
child, a little toddler, she maybe 2 or 3, Bree, knew the whole routine, and I'm like, how?
I don't know,
You know, and I'm like, God said, this is the power that music has on these children that for parents, y'all just always cute. No, it's not, because it affects them. And then when they 8, 9 years old, they run in the house. You can't tell them nothing.
Oh,
Man, you would be amazed the stories you hear of 8, 9-year-olds running the house, running the mama and the daddy.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? And where it start from? Where they learn how to be disrespectful from? Oh, I didn't teach them that. Who taught them?
Well, you taught them. Reason why is because, like, we talk about all these, like they call them the YNs and all that type of stuff, right? We talk about all that, but it's like, what's the difference between their generation and our generation? What's the difference between our generation and the generation before us? The things that you were taught at home, bro.
It starts at home.
Look at
start at home.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, okay, the YNs per se that's doing this right now is like they either were in the same household as us or we created that household. So if we're creating that household, we got to look at us. We got to look at our generation and be like,
the
bro,
thing about it is-
what were we doing in our households that was showing? Somebody showed them how to, you know what I'm saying, how to go out and get a gun. Somebody showed them how to shoot it. Somebody showed them
Thank
how to,
you.
You know what I'm saying?
And you look at if you more of a musician than I am, right? If you go back to the 60s music, 70s, each decade had their own music. We in the era of popping off, like you said, guns, and you ain't teaching them. So who teaching them?
Young boy.
You know what I'm saying? So we in the
Hey,
era
man,
where
young boy.
rebellious, live free, do what you want, don't listen to nobody. Nobody can't tell you anything. Because I'm a deep thinker, and God set me down one day. He said, we in a generation where Satan is creating it where the young ones, it's going to get to the point, you can't tell them anything because they making more money than you. You might have a 12-year-old that got a social media following that's making more than the mom and the daddy, or he's supporting the mom and the daddy. So how dare you tell them what to do?
You already see it with the athletes.
See what I'm saying? So if you got a 14-year-old, because at 13 they can get on TikTok, that gets a big following, that's going to do crazy stuff, whatever, and he bringing home $5,000-$10,000 a month off of TikTok, how can a parent raise him when he making that kind of money? What can you tell me? And if they sitting there telling me I got to get on social media to cuss and act a fool to make this money, what I'm going to do? And then how you going to tell them stop? When he's sitting there saying you making $40,000 a year, I'm pulling in 100. Satan know what he's doing now to where what is going to be in 10 years? How you going to tell them anything? You would be, you see, you be on social media, but you ain't dick, man, you would be amazed. My jaws drop when I seen how much some of these teenagers is making.
It's crazy, man.
Breathe. You got some of them making 20,000. You thinking they
Yeah, they got
Breathe.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Chris,
It's crazy.
you did.
It's crazy. It's
Chris.
stupid money, bro.
I didn't think like need to tell like you'll get on there and start typing like and they'll start just explaining how social media work and how they doing this and if you pay attention, you got some of them that's getting every time they drop a video 5,000-6,000. Bree, that's just whatever they might for a minute 10,000 views. Bree, they making some money. When you see them big old houses and all this, and then you go click on YouTube and they
I look at Country Wayne. That boy
Bree.
millions.
But he's a grown man.
Yeah, he's
grown.
Yeah, he's
He's
grown.
So the kid, I'm just
Breathe.
saying. So the kids.
I'm gonna say this, man. I used to watch some of these, back whenever YouTube, whenever pranks was the big huge thing. They used to do like wild outlandish pranks, like throwing mud pies in your face, all type of stuff, right? And seeing how, and they were young when they started that. So, and the reason why it's I look at like the scripture where it was like, "Come to me as a child." So it's like everything is marketed to the children, bro. You know why? They're the ones like all of us, we got jobs. We was talking about it today. Like, man, you was getting off, you was passing through Soulful. I'm coming from camera, all that type of stuff, right? We got jobs, so we can't be on social media all the time. We got to focus on work. We got to focus on paying these bills. We got to focus on this, and and on top of that, we living for God and we take our time for God. But these kids, bro, you 10, 11, 12, 13, high school, you don't have no job. You just on your phone all day, so you just running it back. So those people who are young themselves, they teenagers or they just getting into college, so now they making crazy money. So now they feel like they gotta keep, even if they don't want to. I've seen stories on YouTube where it was like YouTubers was like, I don't like doing this no more, but this is how I provide. This is how I make money. So now you gotta up the ante on your craziness. Now you gotta, not just sling mud pies, but now I gotta I gotta shoot rubber bullets out of a gun at somebody and see if I can hit the target. And if I hit them in the shoulder, it's funny. You know what I'm saying? It's like you going even deeper to where it's like now the young generation coming up, so now they're desensitized to all these things. So it's like that's normal to them. So now they gotta push the limit even further.
Yes. Man, and then when you see them doing challenges like, I'm gonna do this challenge, I'm finna cuss up a storm in front of my parent. So now your parent up there, they do something, and then they start cursing whatever, and they think it's funny. it's disrespectful. But to them, it's not. Oh, we just doing a prank. And I'm like,
Trying to disguise it.
yeah, like we just in a lawless time where nothing is off limits. Where you sitting there seeing, man, they 15, 16 years old, dang, they're porn stars. You might as well say they porn. Like, man, I ain't getting on Twitter. They say
No, yeah,
Twitter,
crazy, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Man,
and
look.
what they'll do is they'll start on Twitter, get on TikTok, make them a TikTok and tell you, click my link in my bio, go back over here. But it'll just amaze you. Like, you probably could see we be sometime in our own little box.
Yeah, I look. Most of the stuff I'm looking at is like history,
yeah,
like biblical stuff. I'm looking at.
That's why that stuff comes. Yeah,
that's all my stuff that I'm looking at.
And this is why, man, I feel like I'm trying to go hard with this because, like you said, man, we getting older. So that's like we saying, man, back in the day it wasn't like this. So now I remember my mom and them telling us when we was younger back in the day, and it's hard for us to grasp it because we only know what we consume now. And I'm like,
and the crazy
saying
part,
you smart sucker, you. I'll be there myself.
The crazy part is, bro, is everybody wanna be significant to where even the people that's complaining about it,
Yes.
is the ones that's consuming it.
Yes,
most.
look.
You got older people, you got
Man.
mom and them age that's consuming it and laughing like, man, you seen this little boy?
Yes.
Man, that dude
Yes.
crazy. And they sending it to you, and it's like, man, like I remember, like if that was me, man, I wouldn't be trying to. Come on, now y'all cool. Y'all think it's funny?
Think it's
because
funny.
You going with the trend?
Satan's so slick. Because if you Satan got everybody thinking because they got one viral video, they can make content and do all. God say he's smart. It's like a drug. He gonna give you that one hit. And if you ever notice, pay attention to this. If you click on somebody's profile, they got at least one. They got at least one video that got some views. And you looking like, man, you got 3,415 followers, but you got 1.2 million likes? Because he's going to give you that one hit that's going to keep you chasing. Man, I got to try to get me that viral moment, so I got to keep doing this. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy me cameras and all this to chase these moments that probably won't even happen again. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how he doing now, man. And that's why I say we got to have some kind of foundation where the ones we, even not just the ones we love, but the people know that this ain't normal. Cause I see what he doing, man, and he like some of us, he know he can't get us. So guess what? You got a kid coming.
Go to the kid.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get him. Some kind of way I'm gonna get him because this is, like you said, when you at work, that's all your child can consume. And if you at work for 12 hours, you done came home, you tired, you gotta take your bath, get your mind settled, and it's time to go back to sleep. So, do it again. So now your child is left to consume whatever. Now your child, 13, 14 years old, he got access to whatever he want. I want to see him in bikinis twerking. Boom.
I check my son's phone.
Yeah, you know
That's
what I'm saying?
why I'm like, nah, bro.
So it's bad, bro. It's bad.
I've gotten to the point to where it's like, well, my son, man, like, I'll be like, man,
how old your son is?
14.
Oh, so y'all, y'all 14, y'all in the same boat.
Mine going on 16
man.
this year,
You know what I'm saying? So,
CJ be 16 this year? Oh, wow. But all right,
yeah,
cool.
and it's like, so I've gotten to the point where I'll be like, man, like he'll be talking to me like, man, hey, Dad, man, I heard about this show, man, whoop-de-woo, whatever it's called. I'll be like, hey, man, before you watch that, let me check it out for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, boom. If it's cool, I'll be like, all right, man, yeah, you can watch it. It's cool.
The thing
If
about
it's not,
it-
I'll be like, hey, bro, don't even go near that, bro.
My son know I'm gonna check that phone.
Oh yeah, man.
So when I look at that phone, sports. He looking at sports. I look at everything.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Man.
Let me see. Then I go on his social media and I click his name because he got my name. So I write my name on there. Let me see if he got something on there. I'm gonna look.
Hey, you got to, man. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it in check, bro.
It's scary, man. We can go on that note, man. But I just want. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones, and I'm gonna say it before we go, man. It's one of the ones where I knew having kids. I was like, God, I don't know if I'm ready for them for this world. And last week, man, I ain't gonna lie, looking at my kids, man, I just like, God, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for them to see the wickedness, the evilness of this world. Because my girls, man, all they know is love. Like, my daughter don't even know what rap music is. If you be like, ask her what music is, she gon' I don't know. She don't even really know what music is. Neither one of them. And I'm like, God, like if you was to tell my daughter something like crack a joke on her, she don't know how to come back with a joke because all she know is love.
Yeah.
Both of them, and I'm like, God, it hurt my heart. I'm like, I'm not ready, Lord.
I feel you, bro.
I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie, a little bit. I'm scared because it's like, what do I tell them when, certain things is going this way because they were raised a certain way, and I don't know. It's something I got to work on, man. I got to prepare myself for it.
I feel you, bro. Hey, it's take it one day at a time, bro. I ain't got no girls, man. You know what I'm saying? I might have a girl, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the Lord give me with my, you know what I'm saying, with my soon-to-be wife, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to cherish it. But, man, just with them kids, man, it's just, you got to take it one day at a time, man. And like I said, man, just seek God first on whatever it is, bro, because it's like the stuff that's going on now, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I ain't gonna lie too, man. I think that's the reason. And I keep saying before we go, but I gotta say this because I just thought about it. But that was another reason. We gotta definitely come back because it's so much.
Soon.
And but one of the things I wanted to do, man, is I was like, God, let me make videos. Let me make as much content because I don't know when you gonna call me home, but at least they can always go back and say, this is what my daddy stood for. This is what he fought. This is what he fought for. This is what he wanted. He wanted to serve and love God, man. And I just hope and pray that they just follow suit and know, man, like, look at me as a role model. And that's all I'm praying for, man. That's all I wanted to say.
But the thing about it is they already are because they watching you. So whatever you do, that's what your kids gonna do.
Man, this what's up, man. And on that note, man, we go in. We definitely gonna have Beat Docta back, man. I want to make him a regular guest. I know he about to start his turnarounds, but we gonna figure it out.
We gonna fit it in.
We gonna figure it out, man. But I thank you for coming, blessing us with your presence. We gonna come up with some topics and we'll have you on, and we gonna get it rolling. We gonna get it rolling, man.
Bro, like I said, man, right up the street, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? We good, man.
We good, man. But on that note, man, this is the Godly Vibe Podcast. We out. Peace.